Hello everyone, thank you so much for coming back to my channel. It's Joanna. These are going to be your messages for the month of December 2018. I'm going to make this very quick because I myself don't like long intros. Please remember that these are general messages. My intent is to give you something to think about, something to look at from a different perspective in order to help you gain clarity and ultimately that you can become a more empowered you. So rather than focusing on predictions, I am focusing on what may come up for you in the month of December and how some of these situations will allow you to see certain things and perhaps to create certain things for yourself that you have not been able to before. So I always intend on giving you as much information as I can in order to help you evolve. And how you take that information and how you apply it, or if you even consider it, that is entirely up to you. What I would encourage you to do is to listen to it at the end of the month, because these messages are really limitless or timeless. There's really the principles that I ask to give can be applied to really any sign in any situation. So it is important for you to listen with an open heart and an open mind and see how it can help you. Of course, listening to the other signs may offer you more guidance, and above all, don't take anything that I say as gospel. Listen with your heart and allow yourself to feel whether it resonates with you or not. Sometimes I will say things that may trigger you. If that happens, it's a good indication that something inside of you is wanting to say something. So I'm just going to leave it as is. Also, if you are interested in a Uranus projections, it's a 7-month projection. That information is down below on the Vimeo page. And let me see if there's anything else. Thank you, of course, always for watching, for sharing, for subscribing, and for private sessions, if that is what you wish. That information is down below. Thank you again so much. Have yourself a wonderful holiday season if you are practicing it or if you are celebrating it. And I look forward to seeing you soon. Take care. Bye. Hello, beautiful Virgos. These are going to be your messages for the month of December 2018. Allow me first to tune in to your energies. When I was meditating on you, I saw that the month of December, for a lot of you, is going to be spent maintaining balance, whether it is maintaining balance in your bank account, maintaining emotional balance, or all the duties and responsibilities that you have, mental balance. I think I said that already. Stress levels. I feel for a lot of you, this is going to be the case. Now, we are entering a holiday season where a lot of people do celebrate and a lot of spending happens, not only on a physical nature as in money, but also energy-wise and mentally speaking as well. The idea of rejuvenation is being shown to me, and although December is not, I would say, traditionally a month where a lot of rest happens. Actually, yeah, a lot of people do take holidays. So if December is a busy month for many people, but there's also some time for rest because we have at least 2 mandatory days, I believe. So point is that I feel in December, many of you will experience a much needed rest. And the word much needed is being underlined, signifying that many of you have been looking forward to this or have been working very hard, expending a lot of energy on things, projects, and life in general, and it's time to take a nap. You actually have a card that says time to take a nap. So it feels to be somewhat an eventful month, but in all honesty, I welcome that for you because we all are going through changes and there are many shifts. And if you are not going through a shift, you definitely know someone who is. So we are going through interesting times. So if December is going to be mostly uneventful to you, for you, then that means you will have some time to rest. You will perhaps have some time to think, to meditate, which is also one of the things that was shown to me earlier. It is also a month where you are being where you are being guided, what's another word? Where you are being encouraged to let go of some of the emotional baggage that you carry. And we all have it. I believe every single human has some kind of baggage. We all carry it with us. Sometimes we're aware what our baggage is, sometimes we are not. And some baggage is okay, and some baggage creates a lot of stuff, unnecessary stuff. So you are being encouraged to look at your emotional state of being in a month of December, particularly when you will have time for yourself. Because I feel many of you, if not most of you, are planning New Year's resolutions, and that is in a very few short weeks. So it's almost like the month of December is meant to be a balancing act. And we are coming to an end of an era, as in, why did I say era? That's interesting. We're coming to an end of a year. A brand new year is about to start. So it is a good time now to commit to yourself, but also understand what you are committing yourself to. And that comes or stems from you understanding yourself first, because when you do, you are aware of what you want. So as I'm saying this, the idea of Six of Swords is being shown to me. Six of Swords? Yes, I believe it's Six of Swords. Anyway, point is that there is a movement forward for many of you from something that is no longer working. I want to say this is a celebration. And for most of you who this is for, it is a welcome change that you are moving into. So this could be a relationship change. This could be a change within a relationship. This may be something you are just choosing to move on from, or you had some sort of thing you were dealing with and you're letting go of that thing, whatever that is. I also hear the word satisfaction guaranteed, and I think that's a joke. That's meant to be a bit like a joke. Point is that we will all be surrounded by family and friends. It's important to share your ideas with people, but it's also important for you to know where your boundaries are or where your boundaries should be. Now, that is a very interesting message, because I feel like it's speaking to a very particular person, maybe few. This is really interesting. I feel like I want to say for some of you, it is unnecessary for you to divulge everything to everybody. They won't understand you anyway. For those of you who are moving on and who are choosing to make that choice or decision, you may feel the need to tell others about it, particularly the reasons why. But I'm being shown for some of you, other people may not understand what those reasons are for you, or they may not understand your reasons, and therefore not necessarily be on the same page as you with your decision. So for some of you, this feels like a difficult move that's going on, and perhaps it's going to upset the apple cart. Well, if this is a choice you're making and you feel it's one that's committed to you, or you're making this choice based on commitment to yourself, which means you put yourself first, then that's just the way it's going to be. But I'm going to move on with the cards. The card that represents the overall energy for the month of December is time to nap. Apologies about this. It looks like the retrograde is having its way with me. So hopefully it's going to happen just once. My video just stopped. Anyway, the card that represents overall energies for December is time for nap. And this is basically saying, don't force anything to happen in the month of December. Don't make any hasty decisions. Don't try anything that you haven't thoroughly thought about before you implement it. In other words, I feel the month of December, again, is a time of relaxation and maintaining your balance. It may, again, feel like an uneventful month, but based on what other signs are going, I feel that you're going to welcome this. So having said that you are, December is going to be, an okay month looks like, what are some of the things that you need to leave in the past? what are some of the things that you need to take care of or that may come up for you that you might need to address. Balanced relationships is one and freedom is another. So there are several messages with these cards. In terms of what are you needing to let go of, looking at anything that is out of balance in your life and addressing the reasons for it. Addressing doesn't mean making hasty or drastic decisions, but it does mean becoming aware of or acknowledging that there are some things that are out of balance, particularly in relationships. Now, if you have an unbalanced relationship with yourself, in other words, if you are someone who's constantly struggling to figure out who you are, or you're struggling to please people, or you have difficulty with loving yourself or thinking of yourself as a solid person, you will often find relationships that feel very unbalanced. And that's usually because you are looking to fulfill whatever you have is missing inside of you from another situation. And when that happens, when we become overly reliant on other people, it often puts us in a bit of a bind because it makes us, needy to some extent. It is also about addressing relationships where perhaps the relationship is out of balance, but it's because perhaps the other person relies too much on you for either their own happiness, their own satisfaction, whatever that is. That will always create problems because, like the example that I just gave, anything that feels out of balance in your life, it is a good time for you to take note of. Not necessarily to make any decisions again or choices, but to at least realize it's there and at least be open to the possibility of changing it at some point. Again, we are entering a brand new period, a brand new era, like was said, a brand new year, where some of the things that you want to achieve for yourself must first come through dealing with something that's currently perhaps not working. Okay? An example, if you are in a relationship, let's say, and things are they're just not going well, and you want a relationship that's solid, that's stable, you need to first find if there is something inside of you that's making you feel unstable. In other words, how do you feel about yourself in this relationship? Depending on how you feel, you will either put extra pressure on the other person or you will want to run away in the other direction. So it will always create some kind of a problem between you two. Now, this could be a relationship at work where you are functioning on all cylinders and perhaps other people are not putting as much effort as you in, and you're constantly tired and exhausted. And if that is the case, and it has been going on for quite some time, you may need to have a conversation with somebody, or you may need to address this with your boss. That's another example. If you are constantly running out of money in your bank account and you're constantly short, you may need to think about having an overdraft protection. That's a really specific message to somebody. So you don't always pay your fees, the fees for your payments bouncing or checks bouncing. I don't know who uses checks anymore, but you get the idea. Any emotional imbalances, any emotional things that you are trying to hide from the world, it is important for you to not necessarily address right away, but at least acknowledge they're there. And I feel like what's happening is it's like you're getting prepared to be handed out to the world. And to me, this symbolizes a brand new beginning. And before you can have the brand new beginning, you have to be prepared. You have to be prepared in order to be ready for this brand new beginning. For some of you, this could be as simple as you preparing for a baby. And there are some things that need to be taken care of. Perhaps how your household runs and balancing things out a little bit. It could be that way for some of you as well. But more than anything, relationships and anything that seems to be out of balance, it is a good time for you to notice. Freedom is a message that speaks to freedom inside. So this is about what it is that you need to let go of. Anything that prevents you from feeling free inside, anything that is standing in your way to be your best potential, your highest potential, any thoughts you have about yourself that's keeping you away from who you truly are, which is a magnificent person. Again, find what that is for you, because freedom really comes from feeling a certain way inside. Freedom really comes from inside. And yes, we can have things that endanger our safety, but I'm talking about regular life. If you feel you are trapped, if you feel like you're in a place where you can't breathe, then it's important for you to address the reasons why. Perhaps it is the lack of balance in relationships, and addressing those will allow you to find more peace inside of you, but also it will allow you to feel good about you or better about yourself. I asked where this is connecting with you the most. You have Page of Wands, and then you have the Priestess. So Page of Wands to me is all about career. I feel for many of you, this is going to be unbalances in a career sector. Perhaps you are working overtime, and in which case, well, sometimes you don't have a choice, and sometimes it's a good thing. This is not so much that, rather than if your work feels completely emotionally out of balance, if you're not feeling yourself, if you're not feeling good, if you are fighting going to work every day, it's time for you to realize that perhaps maybe you're not supposed to be there anymore. And this also symbolizes a brand new beginning. So for many of you, this is going to be around a career, around your jobs. For some of you, it's passions, but I don't feel that's quite the case. For some of you, it is clearly relationships. Obviously, there is no other way of saying it. And there is a brand new beginning that's being shown, and the metaphor I gave earlier, it's like you're being prepared for some brand new beginning. It could be in your existing job, it could be in your existing relationship, it could be in your existing whatever. Point is, for any change to take place, some things must shift. If you are in a relationship that's unbalanced, if you recognize those things inside of you first, and then you work on those things inside of you, you will notice that your relationship will shift as a result. Either it'll get better because you're going to be different, or it's going to completely go sideways because it has outlived its purpose. Same with work. And no, I'm not saying to anybody that you're getting divorced or you're getting a separation. But if things are out of balance, they cannot remain the same way always, because eventually something breaks. And High Priestess to me is all about intuition. For some of you, perhaps, month of December will be about deciding, because guess what? You have time to go, which means a lesson has been learned. So for most of you who are listening to this, you are in a process of leaving somewhere, and it's a good thing. For some of you, you are moving on from constantly being needed by other people and therefore ripped apart, and there's nothing left for you. You may be leaving something of that nature. For some of you, is you are deciding to quit your regular job and doing something that allows you to speak your truth, to be more creative, to help people or support people in some way. And let's say you become a counselor. That's another example. So there's many different ways, but I feel it's celebration for most of you. I feel that December is not a time for jumping into anything. It is a time for, like I said, maintaining balance, but also taking inventory, if you will. I asked for special message. And I used the Mystical Shaman Oracle. This is the deck. Beautiful, beautiful deck. And the advice, Vision Quest is the card number. Beautiful. The advice is, notice 6-0. 6 is nurture, it's balance, it's harmony. No surprise there. 0 is a brand new energy. This message talks about taking time out, taking time for yourself, particularly in nature. If you have been working too hard, it's time perhaps to cut some ties with whatever it is and find some time for you. I'm not saying quit your jobs. That's not what I'm saying. But there's a serious need for many of you to reconnect with yourself. And most of us are running around like little robots. We have our little routine and we are on autopilot. And oftentimes we forget about us, and that's important. And that's usually what happens when we end up getting into unbalanced places. We create unbalanced relationships and unbalanced things in our life. So there's a huge need for you to reconnect with yourself in nature, preferable if you can. For some of you, by water, if you live by water and if it's not freezing cold. And my guy just says, what's wrong with the rain? Actually, nothing is wrong with the rain. I just don't prefer to walk around in it. Some of you may find it actually much more helpful, cleansing. What I want to say for all of you is, whoever you are listening, see if some parts of this resonate with you. They may not resonate with you at all at the beginning, and they may resonate with you completely at the end of the month. These are meant to help you understand yourself and the situations you find yourself in, so that you can find a greater meaning, a greater purpose to your life, which make things a little bit easier. If this does make sense to you, I would love to see a comment from you. I read every single one of them. Thank you so much for sharing, for liking, and for participating in my channel. Thank you so much. For private sessions, the information is down below. Thank you again so much. Have yourself a wonderful month, and I will speak to you soon. And apologies for the constant cutting out of my camera. It's the retrograde. Okay, take care. Bye.